Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
I'm a gun owner.
Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk.
I don't think that guns are scary things.
Visit us online at www.guntalk.com. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, back to Gun Talk.
All right, back with you, 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. We've got our guest on hold. We're going to get to you in just a second here, Dave. But first, let's go line 2. Gary is with us out of Reno, Nevada. Gary, you're up. Talking about range safety?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just got done at the range. Had a great time out there today. Got some good shooting done. Next to me, in the booth next to me, not even a booth, but, the range is set up in stations.
Mm-hmm.
The station next to me, a young father was there with his 2 little boys. And, it made me proud to see that young man teaching those boys about range safety. And, to watch that barrel, check your chamber, when we go to ceasefire, this is what you got to do, step back. And it was really neat to see that. The unfortunate thing, though, Tom, is right after they left,
mm-hmm.
there was a couple of guys on the far end of the range, about
mm-hmm.
15 stations down. And I'm working on my 708, okay? I've got my firearm in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I see a guy walking out down the range.
Mm.
And, of course, I set my rifle down, and I go, what is going on? What are you doing? And they said, well, we called a ceasefire. I said, I didn't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing in communication that everybody has to know is that to properly communicate, everybody has to hear.
And you have to get an acknowledgement on a safety message like that and make sure that everybody heard you, not just that you sent the message out. It's kind of like sending an email. You don't know if anybody saw it until they've responded to it.
Yeah. And I've been years ago where somebody was downrange and somebody opened up fire. It's a scary thing.
One other thing, I'm going to jump in here, Gary, because one thing you may also want to do, and I have done this, and I think I'm convinced that it increases range safety, is get amplified shooting muffs.
Yeah. I need them because I'm 3/4 deaf. I'm deaf in one ear, can't hear out of the other.
There you go.
When I've got my headphones on, you have to look at me to get my attention.
Well, that's my point, and I think that amplified shooting muffs greatly increase range safety, especially if you're instructing, but just anything, because you can hear what's going on around you. I got to keep it moving, Gary, but thank you for that. I got to get Jerry in here from Arkansas on line 1 real fast. Jerry, metal detector, help me out.
Okay, all right. I heard a deal a couple of weeks back where with the $5,500 handheld FLIR thing to find brass, and you could probably do it with I do it with a $20 metal detector from a big box store and a tarp. Works great. It's cool. It's about as cool as horn rim glasses and a pocket protector, but it works.
Metal detector, I like. But look, if you got your $5,000 FLIR device, you could find hot brass down there. I mean, it's a silly idea, I know. We were kind of having fun with the idea, but it would work, I guess. Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate that. By the way, speaking of thermal, the guys at FLIR have a thermal doohickey add-on for your iPhone that turns it into a thermal imaging device. I mean, it really works. I think it's like $350. It's kind of expensive for a toy, but you know what you could do with that? You could actually find like deer out in the woods with it if you knock down a deer and you're trying to find it, things like that. I think it'd be a reason to have that. All right, at this point, let me bring in a good friend of ours, been reporting on gun rights forever. Dave Workman is out in the state of Washington, where, Dave, you have been kind of hit with the billionaire blitz out there, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right, Tom. It's a situation that I can't recall seeing before. We've got a handful of billionaire types, including Michael Bloomberg, who just weighed in with another $1 million in pocket change to push a an initiative out here called Initiative 594. It's an 18-page gun control measure. It's ostensibly being peddled as a universal background check on gun sales, but what it really is a lot more than that. They want you to do a background check on all gun transfers, and that includes gifts and loans of firearms. If you and I were living in the same area out here, and you called me up one afternoon and said, "Geez, Dave, I'm going over to the Columbia Basin to hunt some geese here next weekend, and don't have a shotgun for that. Can I borrow yours?" I'd say, "Sure. I'll have to meet you at the gun shop. We'll have to run you through a background check, Tom, even though I know you've never committed a felony in your life. You'll take the gun, and then to get it back, you got to meet me at the gun shop so that I can go through a background check to get my own firearm back."
And the gun store it may or may not be willing to do it, and the gun store may charge you $50 for each of those.
That's right. And beyond that, there's also a use tax that is involved in this. And I'm not exactly sure how that's supposed to be collected, but this initiative is opposed by two of the state's oldest and largest law enforcement organizations, and there's been almost a virtual news blackout on that out here.
Well, now, for those who haven't been following this, you've got two competing initiatives, and this is on the ballot, so people will be voting for it. There's 591, which is a real simple little deal, which is actually supported by law enforcement and by gun rights groups. Then you got 594, which is the one that's supported by and basically been ramrodded through by Bloomberg and his gun banners. But also, talk for a second about these other billionaires. I mean, what's going on with the billionaires dropping millions of dollars on this thing?
Well, the only thing that I can surmise from all of this, Tom, is that they want this so desperately that they're willing to spend a fortune to drown out any opposition. You've got Bill Gates, Paul Allen, Steve Ballmer, a guy named Nick Hanauer, who's not a Microsoft alumni, but he made several $1 billion in. He's a venture capitalist, is what he calls himself. Okay. He takes risks with his money and makes a bunch of money, and now he's got all this money that he wants to spend. And these guys are not by themselves. There are a lot of other pretty wealthy elitists who may not be billionaires, but they're certainly millionaires who are contributing to put I-594 over the top. On the other side, as you noted, is Initiative 591. That one is supported by gun collectors, hunters, law enforcement, target shooters, just your average, everyday blue-collar and middle-class gun owner types. We don't have any millionaires to be dumping any money into this thing, but we are getting grassroots support from all over the state. And the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms, as you know, but maybe your listeners don't, they're pretty heavily involved in this. They're part of the coalition that calls itself Protect Our Gun Rights. And all the other major players are also under that umbrella. So it's really two distinctive things. And one thing about Initiative 591 that the gun control initiative doesn't go anywhere near, 591, if it's adopted, will prohibit government gun confiscation without due process. Now, you and I both know what happened after Hurricane Katrina. You were a lot closer than I was.
Yeah, they were going door to door, and they were confiscating guns from every house. They said there will be no guns owned by citizens in this city.
Yeah, and to this date, nobody has taken responsibility for issuing that order, which was proven to be unconstitutional. Second Amendment Foundation and the National Rifle Association joined forces in a landmark lawsuit back in 2005, right after Katrina, to bring this to a halt. It still took about a year for the city to admit that it had taken any guns, and by that time, the guns that they had confiscated were so deteriorated because they'd been left out in a storage container. Nobody wanted them anymore.
They were ruined. Dave, let me jump real quickly in here, because the reason that the money is important, this is a media battle, because what you're doing is you're trying to get a message to the voters in Washington State. And frankly, if you can pour $4 or $5 million into buying advertising, you can suck all the air out so that there's no room for a competing message. And that's what's going on. If these guys are dropping $1 billion, $5 billion, and they can just buy up all the time. And so the only message that the public gets is, well, this is a good, reasonable, common sense measure, and they can basically hornswoggle them. And then you add into that the fact that, as you mentioned, the media is certainly in the tank on this one. It's difficult. And you're just trying to do this with individual contributions, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The Washington Arms Collectors and the Citizens Committee have put up, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of $900,000, but that comes from members. And it's not as if we had everybody in the state chipping in $5, but when you add up the number of members that the Citizens Committee represents, the Hunters Heritage Council represents, the Washington Arms Collectors, the Washington State Rifle and Pistol Association, that's a lot of people out there who individually, they don't have a voice, they don't have a big piggy bank, but collectively they can put together money and contribute to the cause here. It's David versus Goliath. I mean, this really is a textbook case of that.
And the importance of this to everybody is that this has become ground zero for the quote-unquote universal background check movement. They're looking at this and saying, if we can make this happen in Washington State, we will use the same model and we will drive it into every state in the country. We couldn't get it passed in Congress, but we'll just go state to state. We'll put it on the ballot with a referendum, and we will drive it home with our money because we can simply buy the public opinion.
Yeah, that's right. Washington State is really a petri dish here. We're providing the anti-gun crowd with a blueprint for how to take away people's individual privacy and their rights to own and keep and bear arms, to loan that firearm to your sister-in-law, for example, without having to take her to a background check at 2 o'clock in the morning because maybe your brother is off on deployment someplace where he's got to travel for his job, and she's heard noises outside, and the nearest cop is 30 minutes away. When seconds count, the police are minutes away. The police certainly understand that, certainly out here in this state.
Well, that's why they're supporting 591. That's why they're behind the 591 initiative.
And not only that, but as you know, law enforcement is probably, well, we won't use the term guilty, but I know a lot of cops, they do like to swap guns back and forth. They will trade firearms frequently. Hey, take this down to the range and see if you like this, or geez, my gun's in the shop. Can I borrow one of yours for my tour of duty tonight? That sort of thing happens, and the police take a look at this. They say, hey, wait a minute, I shouldn't have to trot down with another guy on my shift to go through a background check when I'm wearing a badge and a uniform to go through this.
All right, for more information, I'm looking at wagunrights.org. Is that a good place to go?
Yeah, http wagunrights.org. Just click on that and you'll go right to it.
All right, wagunrights.org. I'm telling you, they are using this as ground zero to figure out how to drive this into everybody's state. Dave, thank you for that. And for more information, they can follow you, read about it on the Seattle Gun Rights Examiner, right?
That's right. SeattleGunRightsExaminer.com, Tom.
That'll work. Thank you so much, my friend.
You bet.
All right, and we'll be seeing Dave out at the Gun Rights Policy Conference in about a month out in Chicago. Hope that you can join us. Check it out, saf.org, to find out information about that. 866-TALK-GUN.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition, and homes around the world. One name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit SigSauer.com today.
Tired of paying for one concealed carry holster after another that's flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? Alien Gear holsters feature a super stealthy and ultra comfortable design. Our professional quality holsters are backed by an ironclad triple guarantee, including a free 30-day test drive, free shell trades for life, and a forever warranty. Starting at just $29.88, you won't find a better quality or better priced holster on the planet. Any planet. Go to aliengearholsters.com to get yours now.
Inaccurate is just plain worthless. Doesn't matter if you're shooting for a national championship or just trying to beat your friend. You need accurate ammo. Nosler's match-grade handgun ammunition delivers. You get Nosler sporting handgun and custom competition bullets in Nosler head-stamped brass, loaded to the same strict tolerances as Nosler's match-grade rifle ammo. Handgun accuracy through match-grade ammo. Available in 9mm, 40, and 45. Visit Nosler.com.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge, Crimson Trace.
To disarm the people is the most effectual way to enslave them. If George Mason were alive today, he'd be listening to Gun Talk. Now, back to Tom.
All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun. We'll get you in, 866-825-5486. I mentioned gun company stocks going down, and Wall Street and other people are saying, okay, well, that means that people simply stop buying guns. People don't really want guns now. I mean, it's just silly. I've actually heard people say, well, you know what? If Wall Street analysts are that dumb, if they can't see past the quarter, and they can't, then that's okay, because all that means is they're having a sale. I'm going to go buy some stocks from gun companies. There are three gun companies that are publicly traded: Ruger, Smith & Wesson, and ATK. ATK is Federal Cartridge, CCI Spear, RCBS, on and on and on and on. Lots and lots of companies there. Blackhawk, they've got all of those. So they also, I think, they make like rockets and missiles and other things, and spaceships. ATK is a major company. So I don't know. I think it's kind of funny, actually. They say, well, if you guys are going to be dumb, we'll take advantage of the sale that you're having. Speaking of sales, lots of things for sale right now. Guns, good prices. I mean, what are you seeing out there? If you've been to the store, if you've seen some really good prices, things being marked down, give us not just a range report, but maybe a store report. I know prices on ARs are down. Also, here's a question for you. We're heading into hunting seasons. They're actually open some places already. Do you hunt with an AR-15? with a modern sporting rifle? And if so, what do you hunt? I mean, I get varmints, but do you hunt any big game with your modern sporting rifle, your AR-15 and 223 or 300 Blackout or 308? What do you hunt? What kind of rifle do you use? I think there still are a lot of people who don't believe that people hunt with these guns. So would love to get your thoughts, your report on that as well. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN. And of course, we're open lines. If there's something about guns, you're welcome right here. Line 1, Josh is with us out of Chicago, Illinois. Hello, Josh.
Hey, good afternoon, Tom. How you doing?
I am great. You got a range report for us, huh?
Yeah, I had a friend and acquaintance from down the street. We went out to the Israel range down near Kankakee and took out his M1.
Now, which M1 is this? The M1 carbine, the little 30 caliber carbine?
Full size M1.
Full size. Okay, shooting 30-06.
30-06, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. How did it work for you?
Worked great. I emailed you in a target. Maybe you had a chance to look at it.
I saw the target. I did see that. That was pretty good. What was the range on that?
That's 300 yards handheld over iron sights with 60-year-old Greek military surplus ammo.
That's impressive, man. Those old rifles still shoot, don't they?
They shoot real well, especially that one.
So, did you have any experience with M1s before?
No, that was my first time pulling the trigger on an M1.
What'd you think?
Well, now you're going to call yourself the great enabler because he was too. I want one.
I'm not surprised. They are that much fun, and they're heavy and they're big, and they just are so sweet to shoot. And once you shoot them, you go, "Yeah, I get it. Now I understand." They're pretty darn cool, and you can find them. You can get the surplus ones are available out there. You can get involved in the CMP program, Civilian Marksmanship Program, and of course, if you want to, you can always pick up one from Springfield Armory. They're making new ones, M1As. So a lot of, and that's not a grand, but it's M1A. So a lot of choices out there. Give me your range report. What are you seeing in the stores? Any special deals? Have you gotten a good deal recently? Love to hear those. And also, just range reports on guns you've been shooting. Also, of course, the question is still out there. Do you use an AR-15 for hunting? If so, what are you hunting with it? 866-TALK-GUN.
One of Talker Magazine's 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. You're listening to Gun Talk, heard every week at this time on great radio stations across America. Stay tuned. Gun Talk is coming right back. Covering all aspects of gun ownership every week on this fine radio station. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All righty. I know you saw the news reports. Probably had the same sick feeling I did when I saw them. We're talking about the report of the terrible tragedy, the accident/negligence, depends on where you fall on this one, of the 9-year-old girl who was handed a full automatic Uzi. Somewhat foreseeable, perhaps. When it goes full auto, it just ratcheted back very quickly and shot the instructor in the head, killed him. What were your thoughts when you first heard the story? If you're a gun person, probably somebody asked you about it. How did you respond? What did you tell them? Just one of those things? A mistake? Where'd you fall on this one? 866-TALK-GUN. Monty is on line 2. He's out of North Dakota. Hey, Monty, what kind of pistol you got?
I got a Luger 9mm.
Okay. Is it an actual Luger, a German Luger?
It says Luger High Point.
Okay, it's made by the company is named High Point, and then it's chambered for the 9mm Luger cartridge, I think, is what you're saying.
The way I would understand it, yes, Tom. And
okay.
I don't understand why the law officers say don't buy a High Point, and if there's a safety concern in it, I don't know what to do with it.
I know a lot of people that own High Points and like them. Have you shot it?
No, I haven't even bought one round because after I went to pay for the weapon, I saw that, and went through the security check besides, found out that I'd actually bought a high point, and I don't understand the deputies saying to avoid it.
Okay, so did you have some deputies tell you to avoid a high point?
Yes, 2 different deputies.
Yeah. Well, look, high points are inexpensive, but it's my deal is if that's the gun you can afford, then that's the gun you ought to have. A high point works, and a lot of people shoot them and like them. They're not as finely made as more expensive guns. I mean, if you got a Smith or a Ruger or a SIG or Springfield Armory, they're probably going to be just made better. They're more expensive, and the trigger may be better or whatever. But high point works, and so be careful about people telling you, "Oh, you don't want that," or "That's not good enough." Do your own research. So, did you ended up going through the background check, but then you didn't buy it? Do I understand that right?
No, I'd already bought it before I had to go to the background check to receive it.
Okay.
And it was, I had a sheriff's auction, and I did not hear Luger instead of Ruger, and there was a Ruger 1022 there, and so I assumed I was buying a Ruger,
not a Luger. Okay. Well, you ended up with a high point, and it's chambered for the 9mm Luger. Now the 9mm Luger, you can shoot. It's 9mm Parabellum or 9mm Luger. It's the same ammo. You can swap them out in there. That's not a problem. I guess the question is, did you want a 9mm pistol?
I did, but I didn't want to buy something that I was getting negative connotations on before I ever owned it. So I was a little disappointed.
Well, here's what I would do. I would take that gun out and shoot it yourself and form your own opinion. If you like it, then it's good. If you don't like it, then sell it, trade it, do whatever you want to do. But don't let somebody else create your opinion of a gun that you already own. Go take it out and shoot it, see how you like it.
Okay, Tom, I've never been trained in shooting a revolver or a pistol.
Okay.
And I think it might be wise, even though I'm 69 years young, to get that kind of training. Have you got any special advice? I don't have a computer to watch your program.
All right. I would say contact a couple of gun stores around there or shooting ranges if you have shooting ranges, and just say, look, who can I get some training with? Is there a class or is there an instructor I can go get, a morning at the range or an afternoon at the range, and just get some basic instruction with? And the thing is, if you're 69 years young, it means that you've been around long enough. It sounds to me like you're smart and experienced, because the smartest thing is to understand the areas where you don't have knowledge, and I think you have just figured that one out. So I would suggest go ahead, get a little bit of training, take that gun out, and if you decide you don't like it, sell it, go get you something else. And I'm sorry about the whole Ruger thing, but you're not the first one. There are a lot of people who, when Bill Ruger brought out his first 22, thought he was trying to do a play on words out of Luger, but that was actually his name. It was Ruger. So there you go. All right, 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
The Ruger American Rifle is a 100% American-made firearm that offers outstanding performance at a great price. Available in standard size and compact models, it features power-bending integral bedding blocks, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, a flush-fit 4-round rotary magazine, and a 3-lug bolt with 70-degree throw. Compact models feature a shorter length of pull and a shorter barrel for a reduction in overall length of more than 5 inches. The Ruger American Rifle, another rugged and reliable firearm from Ruger.
Looking for shooting instruction but don't know where to go? Well, we have it, and you can access hours of training and safety videos, which you can watch on your home computer. On GunTalkTV.com, we have top competitive shooters, the best in self-defense trainers, and folks who have hunted all over the world, helping you learn which gun to buy, how to use it, how to store it safely, and everything else you need to be a safe and competent shooter. We also have gun makers showing off their newest rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran shooter or a complete beginner, you'll find what you need at GunTalkTV.com. You can check it out for free, and you can get full access for only $5.95 a month. That gives you unlimited access to hundreds of videos, and we're adding more all the time. Run the videos over and over to make sure you understand what's being said. Skip around. You're in control. Get smarter. Shoot better. Visit GunTalkTV.com.
Springfield Armory presents the Gear Up promotion. Until October 31st, customers who purchase any new Springfield Armory pistol can sign up to receive 3 additional magazines and a free double bag pouch by visiting gearup.springfield-armory.com. That's a value of up to $135. XDs, XDMs, the XDS, and all 1911s. To learn about all the Springfield Armory firearms, go to springfield-armory.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Brownells proudly celebrates 75 years of history and heritage as the world's first choice for firearms, accessories, ammunition, and gunsmithing tools. So whether you're a gunsmith in need of parts and supplies, a new shooter looking for the perfect holster, or a skilled competitor seeking the latest gear, Brownells has what you need. And best of all, every purchase comes with the industry's only forever satisfaction guarantee. Visit us at brownells.com.
Never miss a minute of Gun Talk. If you can't be here for the live broadcast, download the Gun Talk app for your smartphone to catch up on older episodes or to listen when it's convenient for you. Now, more Gun Talk.
I mentioned earlier that we are having some incredible deals, some wonderful promotions and deals on guns out there. How do you know about them? How are you going to find out about them? Well, that's a good question. I would suggest when you go to various websites, I'm looking right now at like the Brownells website. Any of them, honestly, that sell guns, ammo, accessories, magazines, anything, anywhere you go, sign up for their newsletters. If you say, I don't want all that stuff in my email box, great. Go create a new email box somewhere, a new email address, a Gmail account, something, so that you're getting all of the email alerts from these folks because they're sending out alerts, and it may be like right now, just for the weekend. Over at Double Tap Ammo, there's a special deal going right now, just over the weekend, 10% off. So you get the email alerts that tell you these special deals. Otherwise, you wouldn't know about them. And a lot of times you need a special code. If you go onto a website, it's like right now, Brownells has a pretty cool deal. They've got a code going. If you use the promo code GRX when you check out, it's got a little box there for promo code. GRX, think Golf Romeo X-Ray. You're going to get 10% off on any order, and Brownells sells ammo, so 10% off on ammo. I'm looking, that's good. Federal 223 ammo, 1,000-round box for $379, and with the code you're going to get 10% off of that, so take another $38 off. That's a heck of a deal. The code is GRX over at brownells.com. But anyway, sign up for all the email alerts that all these companies have, all these mail order online companies. There are a lot of deals out there. Like I said, just amazing stuff going on right now. All right, let's go to line 3. Carl's with us in Florence, South Carolina. Carl, you're on Gun Talk.
Yes, sir. 2 questions. Well, one's political statement or philosophical statement. The other's a physics question. Okay. Have you ever heard of the organization Jews for the Preservation of Firearms?
It's actually Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership, JPFO.
Right.
I had the founder, Aaron Zellman, was on the show several times. So, yes, I'm very familiar with JPFO.
I find them a lot more accurate and take no prisoners. NRA, I find taking prisoners, trying to be waffle about it. I'm going, hey, if you don't want guns, don't own one. As long as I'm acting civilized, don't tell me I can't.
Well, the great part is JPFO is part of this, what I call spectrum, if you will, of gun rights groups. Got NRA, got Gun Owners of America, Second Amendment Foundation, the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep Bear Arms, JPFO, state groups everywhere. Some of them are, if you will, more hardcore. Some of them like to say, we're more hardcore than the other guys. Maybe that's important, maybe it's not. Maybe you don't win more by being hardcore sometimes. But then again, maybe you need the hardcore guys to stake out the ground and say, we're not going to give from here. I think you need all of it put together. By the way, JPFO is in the process of being, depending on who you talk to, saved, absorbed, purchased, whatever, by the Second Amendment Foundation. I guess JPFO is out of money, and SAF said, hey, you guys can come over here and we'll basically fund you and keep you running because we think it's important. So there's a big online brouhaha about that one right now. So anyway, you also had a question about freezing brass.
Right. Cryotherapy on brass for reloading. Will your brass last longer for reloading, or will it not if you cryotherapy it? It makes your barrels last longer and more accurate. But I was wondering about the brass itself.
Supposedly, it makes your gun more accurate and lasts longer. I don't know if it actually does, but they sure do make money doing it. On brass, I think it would be like the height of silliness to do that. I mean, brass is, if you got 10 loads out of a set of brass, and you then did a cryotherapy on it, and you got 11 or 12, and a round of brass is worth 25 cents, I'm thinking that this is going to be penny wise and pound foolish, and not. I mean, I don't know if it would help or not. I have no idea. I'm not a metallurgist, but to me, this would fall in the category of interesting, I guess, fun to do a video on, but I'm not sure it'd be worth doing anyway. I wouldn't do it anyway. But thanks, Carl. I appreciate that. Let me go to line 4. Diane is in Shreveport, Louisiana. Hey, Diane.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How can we help you?
Well, my father-in-law sent me, I call her Betty Sue, a 1942 Colt, the Woodsman 22.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to find extra magazines for it, and my husband's looked online, but they're awfully expensive. Do you have any ideas or any?
How much? What are we talking about? How expensive are we talking about?
$100 or a little more.
I don't know where to go for that. I guess the two places I would start out would be the Brownells website, Brownells, Brownells, Brownells.com. You could get a phone number from the website and give them a call during the day. You could talk to somebody there. They could help you out if they have them or know where you can get them. But the other thing I'm going to suggest is, since you're in Shreveport, there's a place just down the road from you called Clark Custom Guns. And they're in Princeton. Just past the racetrack out there, Louisiana Downs. And they've got all sorts of old parts and guns and things out there. And I would give Clark Custom Guns a call. In fact, I've got their phone number handy. It's 949-9884. But just look up Clark Custom Guns. It's right there in your area. And give them a call and see. They may have something. If they roamed around in a box, they may find a magazine for you there.
All right. What's your question real quick? What do you think about shooting a gun that old?
Oh, no problem at all. If you're concerned at all about it, have a gunsmith look it over. Again, the guys at Clark Custom Guns can check it out for you. But I shoot guns that are older than I shoot guns that were made in 1900 all the time. Not a problem in the slightest, as long as it's in good shape. And again, if you're at all concerned, just get a gunsmith to look it over. But it's fine. Shoot, I fly airplanes that are that old. That's not. People go, you do what? Yes, not a problem. If it's been taken care of, we'll do that. So it's all good. Some of these old side-by-side shotguns are made like 1900 or even in the 1800s. And some of them are still just tight as they can be. Shoot great. So the question on the floor is, do you use an AR-15 for hunting? If you do, what do you hunt with it? Why do you use an AR-15 for hunting? Tell me, 866-TALK-GUN. This is Gun Talk.
Gun Talk stands for safety, personal responsibility, and common courtesy. To be a part of the show, call 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Gun Talk will be right back.
right, back with you here. By the way, I mentioned Clark Custom Guns. I've looked on their website, clarkcustomguns.com. They have a double rifle they're making using the CZ ringneck or Bob White shotgun and then putting double barrels on it, rifle barrels. I'm getting a double rifle in 30-40 Craig, 405 Winchester, 450 Nitro Express, 22 Hornet, 4570, a bunch of other ones. That's pretty neat. That's just, I mean, if you said, okay, I've got everything else, I don't have a double rifle, looks like they started about $5,000. Not cheap, but a lot cheaper than a lot of double rifles if you ever priced those. What a hoot. A fun thing to do. All right, anyway, let's go to the phones. Line 1, John's in Casper, Wyoming. Hey, John, what do you think about this deal, tragic situation?
I said, what in Sam Hill? Did I hear that right? A 9-year-old with a fully automatic?
Yeah, with a full auto Uzi, yeah.
Yeah, I could see the little, what is that, Chipmunk 22 single shot?
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't believe my ears to give a 9-year-old a fully automatic, and you know it's going to recoil and go straight up in the air. I was just shocked. You talked about people that carry the guns into Target, and it doesn't give us a good name, us normal people that carry, this doesn't either.
No kidding.
And I was just disappointed that it made the paper even out here, and I was disappointed that somebody used poor judgment, in my opinion.
Oh, this made the news everywhere. This was New York Times, CNN, everywhere, because for them it's a perfect example of why we're all crazy, clueless, and non-caring, and fill in the blank, whatever you want in there. But I mean, and I'm there with you. I'm looking at this and going, and it's not that it was a 9-year-old, and that you need to understand. 9-year-olds shoot guns, and a lot of them are very good at it. But this was first-time shooter, and instructor was too far away, and just, I mean, when you look at, and there's video there, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's video and you can see what happened, and you're just going, man, oh man. You've also got, parents' role. Don't know if the parents pushed her into this, if she wanted to do it. Many, many questions here, but I guess it's one of those, here's my point, I guess, maybe we all look at this and go, okay, let's take a good look at our safety practices. Let's make sure that we're being exceptionally careful, that we're being ludicrously careful at the range every time, all the time. Anyway, line 2, Irma. Is it Irma or Ima is in Nevada?
It's Ima.
It's Ima. Hi, Ima.
Hi. I wanted to know, I have a gun, a 25 automatic handgun, and I haven't had it clean for 8 years, and I wanted to know, how often do you clean your guns?
Have you shot it in that period of time?
No.
Okay. Was it cleaned the last time you shot it?
No. No, it hasn't been cleaned since then.
Okay. It probably needs to be cleaned just because it has unburnt powder. When you fire a gun, there's powder that gets in the barrel, and that can, fortunately, you're in a very dry environment when you're in Nevada, so rust is not a big issue. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and clean it and then store it. It shouldn't rust there. So when you live at a moist place like I do, which is Louisiana, I take guns out of the safe, and I like to wipe them down with a good rust preventative. Every 3 to 6 months, I pull them out and wipe everything down. If you're not worried about rust down in the humid Gulf South, then you're not really paying attention. So just an issue there. But in your case, I think you're okay. I would probably, if you don't know how to clean it, take it to a gunsmith or a gun store and ask them to clean it for you and have them wipe it down and then just put it back in storage, and you should be okay there. Just a thought. All right, question on the floor is, do you hunt with an AR? If you do, what caliber, what kind of bullets, where are you hunting? Deer, elk, antelope, or coyotes, whatever. Also, when we come back, we'll be talking about hunting with noted hunting writer and TV personality Larry Weishuhn will be joining us. Your chance to talk about guns, hunting with an absolute expert.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.